Hey, peace, world. What's good? Thanks for pressing play on another Bite Down Boxing video. I'm the host of the podcast, Bite Down Boxing with R.L. Woodson, or just Wood, and I do the channel here at Pay Me No Mind. Please consider becoming a subscriber. Make this big push towards 1K, and hit the like button if you appreciate any of the stuff that I'm putting out here. Or the content, excuse me. Hey, I'm getting into a couple of things really quickly. Going back on this past weekend, I did not get to do a post Canelo and Daniel Jacobs video, and honestly, I said I don't really do this for clicks. I'm not trying to really unnecessarily go. I felt like I said it all. I called it down the line, leading up into the countdown videos that I did. I felt like I kind of said that Jacobs was going to struggle, or that the crux of this fight was whether or not he would rise to the occasion and bring the energy and the grit that it would take to get that card. Similar to kind of what we saw with Triple G, where a bigger fight is out there. You knew that Canelo and Triple G was impending, and he did that little left-right hook combination later in the fight against Triple G, and did the little Predator celebration. Let's go, and then he didn't try to take the fight. And so this fight for me, in the first few rounds, in the first 2 to 3 rounds, I already knew that he wasn't doing enough to manufacture runs. And by that, doing all the little stuff to build up to being able to do something later in that fight. Take the walk, steal second, get a base hit, move the man over to third, and maybe have a chance to run home and play small ball. And his jab really wasn't a stick. He was way too deferential, in my opinion, to Canelo, and allowing Canelo to get comfortable and get into his rhythm, which led to all of the head movement and the upper body movement, and being, looking like a wizard defensively. And I just didn't see it. So I had company that night. I didn't get to watch the fight as closely as I wanted to. So I'm not going to sit here and try to get too detailed with it. The first 3 rounds, like I said, really pretty much set the tone for me and my expectations later in that fight. Real quick update on Deontay Wilder for those Deontay Wilder fans out there, or stans. Did you see the champ in his acting debut? He was on Sunday night's episode of Billions, basically playing himself. He was playing himself, but he was helping one of the fighters get ready for a charity bout. I don't know if you've seen that show on Esquire, I believe was a channel for a while. It still might be out there, but they did like a regular Joe. I think it was based in New York or in some major metropolitan. And 2 businessmen, white-collar guys. I think typically if you had a difference with another guy, you could go on this show, get trained by real boxing people, and then do a fight, and they would televise it. And this was kind of in that same vein. And Deontay Wilder was one of the coaches for one of the characters. I got an article that I'm going to drop about it a little later. I'm just waiting on, it's a little business opportunity, so I didn't release it yet, but hopefully it'll be up later on tonight. Just a couple of thoughts on it. That'll be at bitedownboxing.com, so feel free to check that out. This week, a damn good fight coming up. Actually, one of my most anticipated fights on the calendar that was announced. I think it's an excellent fight for non-diehard boxing fans. I'm excited for any casual, or not casual, but mainstream sports fans if they happen to tune in to Fox this weekend. Although I am a little concerned that they don't have the greatest. It's not their sweet spot of the calendar. I guess Fox has Major League Baseball, but it's not NFL season where they could be getting J-Rock, Julian Williams out of Philadelphia, a great football city, and then Jared Hurd, Swift Jared Hurd, a Redskins fan. Shout out to you, salute to you on that. But yeah, I don't think they have the right mix of sports going on at the minute for them to get those great looks, that great promotion. But the PBC stuff, the studio show's been out there. Locally, I think Jared Hurd has been everywhere with some of the different sports teams and doing some stuff with the Redskins. He was at another event. I don't think it was the Nationals or the Capitals. But anyway, phenomenal matchup. And I'll keep this kind of short. Maybe I'll do a countdown to this one. I think, in my opinion, the at the crux of this fight is, does J-Rock wilt under the pressure or the volume of Jared Hurd? Jared Hurd is one of my favorite fighters, admittedly. But he's a vulnerable. He's not, he's not a guy who can't. He's not unbeatable. And he throws that long jab sometimes, a step and a half or so away from his guy, and it's more telegraphed. He slips some shots and has some, he parries some stuff with his guard and everything, but he has taken quite a lot of shots. He's had some time to try to improve that, and we'll see if any of that pays dividends this weekend. Whatever him and what's my man's name, Ernesto? That doesn't sound right. But anyway, he's a charismatic guy. His attire, his ring attire is always dope. The hairstyle and whatnot. He's a guy that I feel like fans who don't know him, if he is victorious and does, his speech or has his in-ring interview, he's going to say something that invites, and draws more people in versus, fans who don't know as much about the sport walking away thinking that guy is a prick or he's a jerk or he's, just somebody I'm not interested in getting to know. I think he's a guy who will, a great ambassador to be on PBC on Fox. On the other side of this matchup, J-Rock is a guy who showed us a lot against Nathaniel Gallimore maybe a year and a half ago. Just a phenomenal boxing match. I mean, a phenomenal boxing strategy and execution between him and Stephen Edwards, or known as Breadman. There were some concerns about Julian Williams and his chin after being laid out by Jamal Charlo in their fight 2.5 years ago. And then Gallimore was coming in as a vaunted puncher after taking apart Justin DeLoach in 5 rounds, I believe, in real savage fashion. So many of us thought Gallimore had the momentum going into that thing. J-Rock was coming off of going 12 rounds with the older, can't think of my man's name. My brother out in Ishe Smith. So, but he stood in. He just beautiful jab work to open it, going to the body, taking away Gallimore's legs and some of his power. Even after he had the fight in control going into that 5th or 6th round, I want to say, when many of us thought he might stay out with that jab, working that jab that was beautiful that night, he moves inside for the next 4 or 5 rounds and really roughs up and manhandles and makes the fight physical with Gallimore. And then I think in the 11th round just unleashed an assault on Gallimore and got the victory and became the IBF mandatory. Funny how long it takes for that to actually play out now that he's getting the fight this weekend. So, J-Rock is tough and gritty. He's looking forward to going into the backyard of Swift Jared Hurd here in his backyard, in Virginia, Fairfax, where the fight is going down. I think at Eagle Bank Arena, and Hurd is Accokeek, Maryland native, and so that's it. Like, can he fight from all three levels again? And going back to the Jamal Charlo fight, he was easily outboxing Jamal Charlo until he got a little too confident. His in and out that he was doing with his boxing, he got in and stayed in a little too long. Maybe went for one extra punch that maybe he shouldn't, and then it was kind of lights out. So can he have that same success punching inside of some of Jared Hurd's longer shots? And Jared Hurd, if he doesn't mix it up and fight at a different speed or throw punches at different speeds, I think he could be timed, and it's going to be an excellent fight. That's it for today. That's plenty for today. But I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, Bite Down Boxing, the show up champ, will not be on site for that one. That was one of the fights. That was the main fight that I circled on my calendar to go to attend and cover. And for different reasons, a brother won't be making it this weekend. So it is what it is. Let me get on off of here, man. Morning Wood with a couple of different topics. Have a great day. And like I always say, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.